Welcome, everybody. January 25th, 2022. We'll get started in about 1 minute. Okay, then we'll kick us off here.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. How's everyone doing today? Morning, Marco. Hey, Erica. Good to see you. Good to have everyone in here. So as Jeff was mentioning, we've been experiencing a lot of volatility in the markets, something that we need to be prepared for and acknowledge as the markets have been having these huge drops to the downside. So just want to be cautious in the meanwhile, still trending to the downside and seeing lower highs and lower lows. So overall, want to be staying more with trading with the trend to the downside. If we are going to be taking more breakouts to the upside, looking at those quick one-to-one profits, those small moves, but ultimately until we start consolidating and forming a new buying territory to move back to the upside, could be experiencing some more of that volatility. So just want to acknowledge that and stay safe for the next few days. We do have the FOMC announcement tomorrow as well, and a lot of reports coming out. So just be cautious, be on the safe side. If this is causing you to be, more nervous or anxious while trading, sometimes it's good to just watch and see how the markets pan out. So before I start, I do want to go over the website real quick. We've been continuing to answer your guys' emails. Just want to throw that out there again as far as accessing the sessions. You should be receiving an email each night at 10 p.m. Eastern time with a link to the live trading rooms. If you haven't been getting those, be sure to check your spam and junk folders because those emails may be going there. Anyone in the chat, just feel free to message having any issues. You guys good with the website and the emails? Hopefully everyone should be close to fix by now. But to show some of you, because I know we have been getting a lot more people coming in, there is a way to access the live trading room through the website. So if you go to theelitetrade.com and you log into your account, so you'll see it says login in the top right corner. I logged into my account already, but in order to access the live trading room through the website, you'll want to go to your home page. So click home on the top part of the website. And then when you scroll down, you're going to see the calendar here. So you're not going to see this after the sessions, but before the sessions start, you'll see this gold button that appears under the weekly live trading room. So just another way to access the room. You can either access it through the emails that you get at 10 p.m. Eastern time that way, or by going into your account and clicking the join now gold button that's here. And we're already in the session, didn't mean to click that. So any other issues, feel free to email us, but I believe we have been getting most of you guys situated, which is great. And just confirm that you are receiving the emails at 10 p.m. Eastern time, because over time, we're going to stop sending the ones that we send out each morning. So just make sure that you're getting those automated emails at 10 p.m. Eastern time. All righty, let's get started. So with the pre-market routine this morning, taking a look at the news. So we can see here, taking a look what's on the main sites. These 5 signals will tell you when the Wall Street correction is over. So a little bit more on the bullish side as far as when the correction is over. I think yesterday we saw some as far as when are we going to have that bottom to move back to the upside. What the charts are still telling us is that we still have potential volatility coming into play and more room to run to the downside until we start to see that transition higher. So I'd say just use this as just kind of an odds enhancer for what everyone else is seeing, but ultimately we're going to be relying on the charts for our entries and setups. Going over to Yahoo Finance, you can see stock futures drop more than 1% as investors await Fed policy setting meeting. Again, that's going to be a big one. Another thing that's going to cause a lot of volatility in the market. So another reason to just stay safe. Going over to Econoday, so several reports. We had Case-Shiller Home Price Index and FHFA House Price Index. That was at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So 10 a.m., 10 o'clock reversal. We have Consumer Confidence and Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index. These ones also going to be causing more volatility. So when we're taking trades, we want to manage our risk closely and be prepared for this volatility to come into play. As I mentioned, FOMC announcement is going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And look at all these reports with the red dots on them. So when you go to Econoday each morning, taking a look at the ones that are going to be the market moving indicators, that's going to be all of these ones here. Hey, Jeff, after you stop sending at 10 p.m. Okay, so the ones that we're going to stop sending in about a month or so are going to be the ones we send out right before the session start. So ultimately, you'll either be accessing through the 10 p.m. Eastern Time emails. Those will continue to be sent out automatically or by going to the website. So those ones you guys will still continue to get. So big odds enhancer here is the trend in the pre-market. If you guys have been looking at this, you can find this on TradingView. Big odds enhancer, as I mentioned, when the markets are descending. So what we saw yesterday in our live trading room session was that the trend was very low in the pre-market. So not a lot of buying was going on, and we saw the markets continue to move lower. What we're seeing now, what I was seeing earlier this morning, is we did start to get above 2. Currently in the pre-market, we're at 1.7. So we're starting to see that transition where there's more upticks in up volume by shown on the trend. So keep this in mind. With the markets descending, we may start to see a move back to the upside, but just want to be cautious. Again, trend is still down. So again, we're going to be experiencing a lot of that volatility. Hey, Daniel, good to see you. So now going over to the charts, let's start off with the S&P on the daily chart. So key odds enhancer for what we're seeing. Looking to the left-hand side and why price stopped here is that we did have an 8-minute buying territory that price just dropped into. I believe in Jeff's tweet, he mentioned that we haven't formed any new zones. So in order for price to move back to the upside, we're going to have to see some new zones and buying territories forming in order to get that transition back to the upside. So right now we just dipped into this 8-minute buying territory. We do have one a little bit lower on the 7-minute time frame. And then our 5-minute selling territory here, again, trading with the trend is going to be a little bit higher probability just because of the trend being to the downside. Also, as mentioned, we are inside day. So again, volatility, a lot of reports coming out, and we are inside day. So we haven't broken the prior session's high, haven't broken the prior session's low. And we have this long extended candle. So currently we're in between where we found the stack of sell tickets up here, stack of buy tickets down here, and we're stuck within that range. So again, could be going back and forth between the buy tickets and the sell tickets, thus causing some more volatility. So 5-minute selling territory is going to be just above the prior session's high. I'm going to show you that one on the 5-minute time frame. We can see here, this is just the overnight session volume where price is just dropping and drifting around. But here is where we tap the prior buying territory from a few weeks back. Then going up and to the left, we still have our 5-minute selling territory, which is going to be right here. So our entry on the S&P for the short setup is going to be 4458.25. with our stop at 44.87. Now, this seems like a pretty wide selling territory. So again, as I mentioned yesterday, sometimes we'll put out buy and sell territories that are a little bit wider. But what you guys can do is either do confirmation entries, you can trade the micros. There's other ways to go about getting into some of these setups while still managing your risk. Again, 4458.25 with our stop at 4487. Good morning, Manuel. Good to see you. Hey, Gallo. Again, no new zones were formed down here. That's where we dropped into this one. So we could see price continue to move lower, looking for potential breakout trades. As you guys know, looking for the 3 touches as an additional odds enhancer, but struggling to find that now, as we did yesterday with finding the 3 touches. So just be cautious. If it doesn't fit exactly the picture that we're looking for, then it may not be our trade and we may just need to wait a little bit. So I'm not seeing the 3 touches down here, not on top until we get closer to this area. I'd say already looking up at this area, but don't have the 3 touches here or here. So again, expecting that volatility with an inside day. Going over to the NASDAQ. Oh, hey, Alexandra, why don't we like the 4420s? Let me take a step back. We might 4420s for a sell territory. Let me see. 4420. So good point. So 4420s, if we're looking at an area up here, so what I've marked with this line is showing us that we've tested this area several times already. So looking to the left, we can see that price has been here a few times already, especially in the overnight session. If we were going to look for a sell territory up here, typically we want to be checking volume to make sure it was created on higher volume. So with it being lower volume, we don't have a very strong move to the downside, just not as many odds enhancers, I would say, with this one. And it does look like this area over here was tested as well. So a few times where price has been up in this area, price coming back up here, we may get a bounce, but then we would be looking for a potential breakout to the upside with having those 3 touches coming into play. But good observation there. Yeah, so always take a look at volume, time of day that these areas were created on. So you can see this one up here just a little bit further was on higher volume, and this one just being more of the overnight session trading. Good question, Manuel. Have you ran any tests on how many times out of 10 does the trend work? I would say not if it works or doesn't work, just more of an odds enhancer. We can back test when we see the markets having these strong drops when the trend starts moving back to the upside. Typically within 20 minutes or so, we start to see that move back up. It may not be a complete trend change to the upside, but typically we do see the markets move a little bit higher with some buying coming into play. So going over to the NASDAQ, again, inside day, more volatility and elevated risk. Have a 5-minute selling territory as well, just above the prior session's high. So over here, our entry is going to be at 14,727.75. Marco, excellent. Jeff, we got to look into that. 14,727.75 with our stop at 14,858.5. You can see again, looking at volume, I have minimal indicators on my charts, but always taking a look at volume, making sure it's created on high volume. We have that strong move away. Again, NASDAQ 14,727.75 with our stop 14,858.5. So we're inside day, prior sessions high up here, prior sessions low. Again, looking for potential entries for the breakout. As Marco's mentioning, looking for the 3 touches either on top or bottom, but struggling to find it right now. So Not the best looking picture with it being inside day, expecting some choppiness to come our way. And this is more of a pivot point versus a buying territory due to the location. Hey Marie, no problem. So 5-minute time frame on the NASDAQ is the one we actually mentioned yesterday. We haven't tested it yet, but 14,727.75. Yeah, 5-minute, with our stop at 14,858.5. We can see just below that, if we're looking for a sell territory in this area over here, just make sure that we're always looking to the left-hand side of the chart and seeing, okay, how many times has price tested this area and used up those sell tickets? So what we're seeing is price has been here one, looks like the initial stack of orders was here, tested once, several times in the overnight session, third time here. So moving to the right-hand side, with this area being used up a few times already, would be looking more for that breakout to the upside if price approaches this area again. And then buying territory. So we are getting close to some of our lower buying territories down here. You can see I marked my resistance area here, the 3 touches on the top side to make sure we're getting in the right location. We do have a 30-minute buying territory just below these key resistance areas. That's going to be at 13,578.75. And then our stop on that one is 13,462.25. Again, trend being to the downside, looking for our short trade opportunities, could have another move lower, in which case we're going to be approaching these lower buying territories in the optimal location that we typically like to look for. Going over to the Russell, again, inside day, we can see we've been making lower highs and lower lows with this trend to the downside. So inside day, anyone get this short trade? So this was the only one I think that hit after our session, but we just tapped it. This was our 2-minute selling territory that we had on Russell. Anyone get into this one? I think this one hit just right at the end of the session, but just tapped it and came back down. So it was a similar picture to the other indexes where we were seeing the origin of that strong move down. We can see price approaching that area again, testing that. So already been tested once. We may look for it to come back into the sell territory, but just keep in mind that it's already been tested once. And the more times that an area has been tested, the more orders that are being filled. Russell had a slightly different picture as far as our buy territories. So it wasn't just quite a pivot point and then a drop, was actually able to see the 3 touches on top a little bit more closely. So down and to the left, we can see this area is where we saw that battle going on. Sell tickets pushing price down. And then ultimately, this is where we had the origin of this strong move to the upside on high volume. So 4-minute buying territory on the Russell is going to be at 1939.8 with our stop at 1925.4. Again, important to know the difference between a pivot versus a buy or sell territory. Territories are going to have the picture that we look for in a more optimal location. So again, Russell 1939.8 with our stop at 1925.4. And then lastly, going over to the Dow, again, inside day, haven't broken the previous high or the previous low. Do have a 1-minute selling territory, don't think has been tested yet. But was looking at this area, so this one is where I saw that support area being used several times. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times where it broke, pulling back up now. So The Dow may be setting up for a potential breakout trade to the downside. Just seeing that this area has been used, we're just going to want to make sure that if we are going to take this breakout lower, we've got the leg base group of candles to then take the breakout to the downside. So keep an eye on this one. This one has a little bit of a better setup than some of the other equity indexes. And then going up and to the left for our 1 minute sell territory, and at the origin of this move to the downside, we have an entry at 34,703 with our stop at 34,783. Again, Dow 34,703 with our stop at 34,783. And then current price right now at 34,000. Yeah, emotional level Dow 34,000 at that round number. So holding that area, but again, just taking a step back, going to the 15-minute, we can see on a more clearer picture, taking away some of that noise. When we go to the larger time frames, you can see this area has been tested 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So again, looking for that breakout to the downside. Just need that leg base group of candles to form before the breakout. What I'm seeing right now is we do have it, which would be placing our stop a little bit higher, but ideally we'll form a new leg base group of candles so we can manage our risk more closely. Hey, Nathan, good morning. So that's the Dow, again, looking for that breakout and that trend trade to the downside if price breaks this support level. Going over to the indexes, looking for those correlations, we can see all relatively correlated, still continuing the move to the downside. We do want to see bonds inversely correlated and moving higher, which we are seeing here. So index is moving lower and bonds are still continuing to move higher. Then internals, as I mentioned, big one is looking at the trend in the pre-market. So currently we're at 2.21. So when trend is high, time to buy, especially when the markets are descending. So again, we may see that move to the upside, may not necessarily be a full trend change yet, but look for, again, some buying to come into play with seeing that the trend is getting above that 2 mark now. That's the trend. Tick advancing issues over declining issues, looking for those extreme levels as an additional odds enhancer. And with the markets descending, we've seen the VIX spike up, currently above 30 right now. Manuel, you could look at it on the daily chart. So, I mean, as long as you see what the number is. So when you go to tradingview.com, just look in the pre-market, the orange box here, just see where it's at. So we can see 2.20. And then on our chart setups, and we have trend, looking at it on the hourly chart, just to see that gauge of how, when it gets high above 1.5 or 2, when it gets to that low mark, which is typically below 0.6, is where we see some more selling coming into play. Yeah, 1 hour time frame is pretty good. Hey, Sachin. Yeah, so when trend, good question. So analyzing that, when we see the markets descending like they have been, let me go back. So when the markets are dropping like they have been, we typically like to see when there's potential buying coming into play. So if the markets are descending and we start to see the trend move higher, what that's saying is that the markets are slowing down because there's more buying coming into play. So the markets are dropping. If we see an inverse correlation between the markets and the trend, meaning markets are going down, trend is going up, we typically see some buying start to come into play shortly after, within about 20 minutes or so. So it's just an additional odds enhancer to look for that transition when buying may start to come into play, but needs to be inversely correlated. Markets going down, we want to see the trend moving higher. Hey, Gallo, indexes are gapping inside the priority range, therefore will fill the same day. Great job, yes. So inside day, looking for that gap fill trade opportunity, as long as there is a buy or sell territory there. Low-back sessions moving down, counter move is most likely to close the gap. Yeah, so keep an eye on when it is inside day, looking for that gap fill trade opportunity opportunity. We do just want to make sure that there is a nice setup that we're looking for that's following our rules in order to close that gap. Let's see internals, and then lastly, pre-market indicator. Looks like we opened relatively flat compared to yesterday. So typically we like to see either a gap up or a gap down in the pre-market, but relatively flat being that it's inside day. So relatively the same amount of upticks up volume, downticks down volume in the pre-market. Alrighty, I'm going to pass it over to Jeff now to see what buy and sell territories he's got, and we'll get started. Thank you guys. Jeff, it's all you.
All right, bringing my screens up. And let me get that chat going. Great job, Caitlin. Thanks for giving us an overview on the indexes. First trade that I do have set up ready to go right now. I have a buy stop market on gold. Let me get that camera thing going on there. Go. All right, so we do have a setup on gold. Prices getting ready to break, well, potentially breaking out 1843.90, which is right back up at the high of the day. So no volume up there, so it should have a pretty good spike. Target in mind is about 1861. Now, what's going to trigger gold is what we hear and see from overseas, which is also going to impact gold. Okay. We have to remember right now, the US is getting ready to engage in war. Okay. If anything sparks over there in Ukraine, we're in a lot of trouble. Okay. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it can be a very dangerous and hostile situation. You also need to protect your electronic data a lot. Okay. Because this, things could get really ugly between different countries, and Russia does have a lot of technology. Okay. So just don't be oblivious because it's happening on the other side of the planet. There's things that can really impact our markets and what's going on. Okay. Now, as we come back and retouch on the equity indexes, I want to come out to a little larger time frame over here. And I want to make it really, really clear that low point was not a demand zone. Okay. Yeah, we got a bounce. There were some unfilled orders, but it took out all of that support. Okay. That was not a demand zone. Okay. And price went below the last support area. So what has to happen now, okay, is rebuilding or a fresh accumulation of demand. That means this price is going to be very volatile going back and forth as it makes a new base. Okay. Now the 23% retracement is a key point on the big picture for price to get above. Okay. But it's just if it doesn't get far above the 23, it still has momentum to the downside. Okay. Now it's been many, many, many years since US has been involved in war times. And most of you have not experienced that in your trading. Okay. And things get volatile. You don't even know where they come from. We got earnings, a big bulk of our earnings season coming out. Okay. So it's hyper defensive right now till things start to cool down a little bit. Okay. That means don't load the boat. It also means with our stock picks that are coming out. Okay. This is a very volatile place, and I don't want to expose a lot of people to risk. And really, the trends are really disrupted right now. Okay. Now, as far as what we have going on this morning, okay, and I do like on the NQ, we could still get down to this 13,697 as price starts to base below this area, creating a new fresh accumulation of orders. Okay. So one of the things that we use a lot in our analysis, Caitlin and I, is we use demand zones and supply zones. Okay. And we reference the left-hand side of the chart. But what happens when and where, okay? And this is just the inverse, okay, up here of what I'm expecting. We can see that this area right here was resistance, okay? And we see when it broke resistance, it chopped sideways and then broke down, okay? Now, when we also had this area of support, okay, we made an attempt. Once we broke that support, we made that little basing action right there, okay? Some other really great examples of this in recent markets are what we're seeing on, oh, where was it? It was like Euro Swiss franc. There's a couple of them right now, okay? And where we have that resistance and support, okay, once price breaks that support area, see, this is what I'm expecting in the equity indexes. Once we break that support, we got to build a brand new, fresh accumulation of orders, okay, before we get that move out that takes out that area right there, okay? So I'm urging a lot of caution for you to get comfortable, okay? When we saw all the recent bounces back up, when we saw all the recent bounces back up on the equity indexes, you know, as we saw short covering and a big move back, a recovery, okay? It was above the 200 daily moving average, okay? It was above the 50 daily moving average, okay? So I want to make that clear that we're not above, we're actually below the 200 and below the 50 on the daily chart, as you see over in the corner, okay? Different market conditions, okay? Now, Caitlin was mentioning the breakout over here on the Dow, and I'll explain why I have these areas here. So let's get this set up. Get some chart refresh. Uh-oh. Come on, data, get back in there.
Issues, so. Jeff, you
I
back
think I'm
on?
back now. Things are loading back up. Just waiting for a couple of data.
Let's
Want to
pull
take
up
over
the
for me?
gold.
Can you hear
You
me?
back? Yeah, we can hear you.
I was setting up the Dow trade to take the short at the breakout, and I think we still got a little bit. Yeah, just give me a second to chat, get my chat room window up there. All right, let's set this up. Now, as I'm looking for a price to break down, this is really a trap, okay? Dang it. Come on, Wi-Fi. It's a trap because my Wi-Fi is not working, or the chart's not keeping up. Crap.
Order filled. Order filled.
Shoot. Anyways, that would have been a great one. I'll wait for the bounce back up slightly here. Time for new equipment. All right, now I'm going to continue to push this lower. So I'm going to come back in at 33,786. Okay. Price starts to break down. Okay. When price starts to break down from that 37.86, I'm looking for 33,425. Okay. Now, the reason I'm looking for that is based on the structure and based on what that volatility and things should be doing. Okay. Now, we did have the the trend was high, okay? And I believe it's jumped right back down to the low point, okay? So we did pop up a little bit. We had some pre-market buying, okay? Maybe buying to cover rather than buying to go long, okay? And we're starting to see the results of that. Now I'm speaking a little stronger tone because I want you guys to be careful out here. What we're looking at is an inside day. Inside days designed to take your money. Market conditions are very choppy. We have a ton of earnings coming out this week, next week, and the following week, okay? And we have to be very, very cautious and aware of that, okay? Now, the whipsaw down here at the bottom, as the market is potentially turning, 4271 area is a Fibonacci retracement back into about a 3-minute zone. Now on the S&P, I still don't have all the right picture on the 15-minute chart as to the 3 touches, okay? Now we're in a reversal or a bottom phase here, okay? And this is one of the most volatile areas. You know, using the entry point software and for the stock picks, you know, we start noticing that there's a lot of picks when the market is trending up or down, okay? But when it starts reversing and changing, okay, there's very few picks, okay? So the higher time frame trends are trying to figure out which direction to start moving in, okay? So as I'll be waiting for these, since they're not set up, okay, 4271 is one of the key places inside that 3-minute zone where I'm looking for the opportunity to take a poke at the long as price does a little correction. Now, inside days are choppy, designed to take your money, okay? And gaps often fill the same trading day, okay? When we talk about the gaps filling, okay, now we have an opportunity on the NQ, okay? And as price starts to make that way up to that 14,377 on the NQ, okay? We need to keep an eye on the stocks. Stocks are mixed. We got Tesla pushing up, Apple pushing down, Microsoft, a lot of uncertainty here, okay? And yeah, you can get some of the small time frames and try to get into that, but be very, very careful, people, okay? A lot of emotions going on. Any moment, you know, you might see price moving very quickly, and then about 30 minutes later, you'll see the news event that triggered it, okay? As price is making its way up to that breakout area on the NQ, okay, let's drop down and see if there is. Wow, that's just way too much risk on that. A lot of risk taken, you know, right now the low would be the stop unless we form another leg base before the breakout. Well, inside days, choppy, designed to take your money. Price gapping down or up inside the prior day's trading range. Often the gap fills the same trading day, okay? All right. Come back in here at this 33,844. And I am looking, you know, based on the structure price. If this was going to be a V-shaped reversal, we would have seen price would have not retraced this far, okay? And there may be an opportunity to take a little scalp active trade on this, okay? as we break it down into a 3-minute chart, and if this time frame is not your style of trading, then, okay, don't take the trade, okay? It's going to be fast, it's going to be active, and I want you to be able to take your profits quickly as an inside day does provide that. So I'll drop down to a 3-minute chart, okay? And 34,024. And then we'll look for that gap fill if it breaks above that area, okay? So let's get 34,024. And yeah, I don't like giving it so much wiggle room, but it's going to need it. All right, where's my? All right. So at this moment, I'm prepared to take a trade short, 33,787. From the big picture, anticipating that 33,500 area. Also willing to take the trade long. Okay. Notice my stop is still pretty tight. So once I have a slight higher low, I have to come back and adjust that stop because it is pretty, I mean, it's a big range, yes. Okay, but we got to adjust the stop based on the price chart. Okay. A lot of whipsaw, choppy action as we anticipate. Okay, how are we doing on gold? And now is if gold does break out to the upside, and we have an order part for that. And with war times coming up, there's a lot of plays on gold. Okay. And we have to monitor that very closely. Okay. Now, if gold does break out to the upside and give us that entry, then I'll look to tighten up my stop loss and bring it up a little bit tighter, about that 1839 area. I'm looking for another leg base group of candles once price does approach the breakout area.
Order filled.
Oh, Russell's coming down. All right, let's see if we can panic some of those people out, but not panic me out. Ooh. Now remember, these markets are pretty darn volatile. Okay. It's not easy to sit through some of these things. Easier on the simulator. For sure. All right, let's see what's going to happen here. Let's go back and look at our other equity indexes. S&P still hanging out. Let's see, NASDAQ. That's some stomach wrenching moves, isn't it? It's got to let things work out. Have your stops in place. This is not the end of the day, but we have to expect this volatility on an inside day. Okay. Now, all of these highlighted areas are a specific place on the price chart, which is a Fibonacci retracement area. Okay. Now, what's important about that Fibonacci retracement area there, okay, is that it's a 70.7% retracement. One thing I really don't teach a lot of is using the 70.7 because it's a rare area. Once that 70.7% retracement holds, okay, it often has a very long running trend behind it. Okay, and I've got a lot of charts that when we first started posting on Twitter, a lot of those price charts out there had that 70.7. Okay, and that was right after. I mean, that was a pretty interesting time in the market where we started making a lot of those. Well, the market was pretty volatile and making a brand new, fresh accumulation of orders. Okay, there's nothing in the way right here. That was just market shooting up with very low volume yesterday, right at the close.
Order filled.
What did we get filled on there? Did we get gold? My computer's kind of locking up a little bit. All right, gold's in play. Bonds rocking to the upside. Look at this, market's just dropping. There's no buyers. Where are the buyers? Okay, now watch over here. Notice that American Express, now Johnson & Johnson are up over 94 cents. Okay. So you can have I watch the stocks a little bit as well. Okay. Now you're going to start to get a little bounce. What time is it? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to lock in these profits here in just a moment. I'm getting to my feel good. I met my daily goal. Okay. Just monitoring the stocks over here and kind of watching things outside the price chart at this moment. And I'll go ahead and grab that.
Order filled.
Let's go over and check out on. Whoa, there we go. All right, Caitlin, am I saving face now?
Good job, Jeff.
How about Daniel? Are you on that one? Yeah, that one's almost hitting my feel good button too. Well, you know, right now I don't have to worry about moving my stop loss. Okay. I have to worry about keeping that profit. Okay. So I'd rather sit here and once I get to that feel good. Okay. I know where things are going, but that doesn't mean I have to sit in there. We're looking for some daily income. Okay. And with that daily income, we want a specific plan. Okay. I understand the urge to move your stop, but if you're moving your stop, that means that P&L is making you feel good. Okay. So you might even be better sitting with the finger on the close button. And as soon as you get to that kind of peak of euphoria, when you just think, oh, it's going to go to the moon, that's when you hit the sell button or close. Okay. All right, let's grab that.
Order filled.
Now you can sit in trades longer if you choose, okay? Right now we're doing some active income. Looks like NASDAQ is starting to break down. Let's go back out to the 15-minute chart. Remember, Caitlin started off today talking about the inside day, okay? Inside days are choppy, designed to take your money. We take faster profits on an inside day, okay? We also anticipate the gap fill on an inside day. If price is going to go back to fill the gap, which direction does price have to go? Okay. We have to remember the market conditions. Now, I didn't have an entry on the NQ to take it short, but I'm looking at that 13,945 as a place to go long. Now, did I take my money off the table early? Yeah. Okay. Money in the pocket right now, isn't it? Okay. What's coming up next? Did Caitlin put out some economic reports that are coming out at 10 a.m.? Okay. So now we're just kind of waiting as price drops down into that area. And we're going to be looking to go long down here. Nice job, Sade. Excellent. Gold still has more room to go and nothing has jeopardized it on a 30-minute chart. Okay. I just chose to take the profit and lock it in. Okay. And we have crude oil now make on a higher time frame. We made lower highs, lower lows, and we're seeing crude oil coming right back up into a supply zone. Okay. Or a sell territory. That sell territory is a little wide for what I like to do. So I'm gonna let price come into that range, and then I'm going to look for the opportunity to sell as price starts to leave it. 81.74 will be the target. And we starting to get some pretty big bounces on those. Yeah. Now, I mentioned bonds earlier, just before the session started. Here we had a 5-year picture of 5-year note. Okay. Have a nice little buy territory below, but the trend is intact on a smaller time frame to take the breakout. And here we had the 3 touches in that area on a smaller time frame, and price has broken above that range. Okay. Now, on the larger time frame on the bonds, okay, what I want you to see is some of the characteristics that we're waiting for on the equity indexes. Okay, I'm gonna step out to a daily chart. I've got to get that picture in play for you. Actually, let's go back to the 480 minute. As the market makes a change in direction, okay, we can see now that there was 3 touches of this area, and if we're going to go long the bonds, we're looking to take a breakout above 119.30, okay, and there's a lot of profit margin potential back to the upside. Now bonds are going this way, gold is rocking, crude oil volatile because of the oil over there in Ukraine. Okay. Natural gas is kind of basing right in the range here. Okay. Oh, wow. Here, Russell coming right down to our area. Oh, I got out too soon. How many stayed in? No, I'm not crying about getting out. I have money in my pocket now. Thanks, Daniel. Excellent. I'm glad you're watching that contract rollover. Not contract over, but last trade date on that. Hey, Kate, if you have anything you want to add, you can jump in anytime. I don't know if you're watching or in a trade.
Still watching Dow going down.
Are you still in it?
Yeah, still in.
Nice. Now, do you understand part of the reason I got out of that Dow trade early when I was showing profit? Everybody kind of understand what the psychology that happened right there? When I got into that trade, did you see a huge red on the screen? Okay. Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh, I got to take a loss in front of everybody. So once I got it back, well, once price gave me that green light and the green, I didn't want to get that. So I'm explaining this because you go through the same things. Okay. Everybody goes through that emotional roller coaster when we decide to take profits quickly sometimes. Okay. All right. So on the Dow, I'm looking for 33,425. On the S&P, okay, right now it's a proximal line entry. Okay, but I'm looking for price to come a little deeper in the zone. And we have 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes before the 10 o'clock reversal. Now, Nathan, I think you're getting a feel of what we were talking about yesterday as far as building that base or a brand new fresh accumulation of orders. Okay. Had to be prepared for this volatility. Okay. Yeah, that was it was, you know, when you're profitable at the end of the day and you know, and you're so bullish, okay, it's hard to get that point across until you step in it again. Okay. All right, gold still hanging out, not missing out on any of that. Crude oil. Let's see the turn. I'm going to drop down to a 5-minute chart. Now, crude has a lot of downside, but crude oil can also be very volatile right now due to things going on in Ukraine as far as supply and demand. Okay. They start tapping the oil and natural gas over there, then these products are going to start rocking to the upside. So your stop is very, very important. Okay. So I'm going to take a couple micros on this, selling short. And I'm going to come in. Actually, I'm going to wait just a couple more minutes, 1 minute. Thanks, Manuel. Did you make some money on that? Let me ask a question differently. Did you pay for your monthly subscription? That's one of the mission statements that, you know, Caitlin and I have is let's help the students make their tuition back. Okay. And once you make that tuition back, you know, the sky's the limit. Okay. And it's really important for all of us, you know, when we invest in ourselves is to get that return. Okay. I don't know if any of you guys saw my Twitter post this morning, but Caitlin's got a couple of things brewing and you need to stay really alert to our our upcoming events, okay? It's towards the end of February when we have it scheduled out. She's got Trading with the Smart Money back on the calendar. And see, you would have spent an hour and a half with us in the morning session before we got into the live trading room, setting everything up for a whole week. Okay. And that's it's pretty amazing. It's going to be a great class. And a lot of the students that have participated in that class before, they covered their tuition throughout that one too. And we got a whole week to cover the tuition for it. Shaw, Dave, Caitlin and I are still working on that. We had to get a few things completed, and it's unbelievable how much work Caitlin does on the backside of things that you guys don't see. Okay. And we just launched our website a week ago, and going through bugs and things like that. All right, we're coming down. We're 10 o'clock. We're anticipating a little bounce. Okay. Now, price on the Dow did not make it into a zone. Russell's right there. If you want to participate in the Russell, getting that 10 o'clock reversal, I am waiting for that 1958. Okay. That's a key place because there's nothing here that's in that retracement camp. Okay. Let's go check the NQ. Yeah, NQ's got a long way to go. And that could freak everybody out coming down to that 13,945 area. Okay. And you notice that none of the stocks over here that make the NQ are rocking to the upside. They just got a small green candle. That is also another piece of evidence, a clue, okay, that they're not coming in and buying at the moment. Okay. S&P. Okay, see how the S&P bounced off the proximal line? We're waiting for the other side of that at 42.71. Right there is that 70.7% retracement. So how you guys doing out there? Everybody got real quiet. Okay. We're just letting the market come to us. Okay. There's a lot of folks out there that are panicking right now, and they're watching all the money they made yesterday just disappear. Now we'll come back out and look at the big picture on the S&P. Still got 41.93, 41.43. Okay. On the NASDAQ. You can imagine how many people are going to freak out if price breaks at 18%. Now, when the NASDAQ goes down 20% off the all-time high, you're going to see end prices below the 200 daily moving average. Okay. You're going to start to see where the big institutional traders liquidate and go to cash. I mean, that 900-pound gorilla like the Fidelity funds, they go to 80% cash when price goes off the high 20%. Look where we're at. Okay, this last low, price dropping down here, we'll get a bounce back up, but the banks and institutions are using that bounce back up to liquidate 80% of their holdings, and that's mutual funds and big blue chip stocks. Okay. Whew. Did that make you feel good getting out of that one? Was it an inside day? Do we associate inside days with faster profits? Oh, here comes Dow coming around far outside. Okay. Now I wanted to hit this level. Then I'm gonna place a trade at 33.40 going back out. But the time's not right just yet. We still have about 10 minutes, okay, for the next reversal. How's that short trade going, Kate? You still in that?
No, got out of that one.
Yeah, you got your feel good button too, didn't you?
Anyone stay in the Dow? I think we all got stuck on gold. Good one, Jeff. Great job.
Now, if you're brand new to the live trading room, okay, there's a period of time where you kind of got to get comfortable with the way Caitlin teaches, the way Jeff teaches, and how we put things, okay? So don't be running around going, oh my gosh, you guys are so fast. Just, oh, hold on, just slow down. There's a lot of information when you're brand new to this, okay? Our utmost consideration is to help you find high probability trade opportunities, okay? Come on, Dow. How's the Russell? Yep, Russell coming a little bit lower. We're still looking for 1958. Yeah, that's pretty volatile. Oh, wait a minute. Who got the oil short out of that? Man, I got distracted. Nice job, Dennis. Yeah, 20 cents up on that one. Now, as you're watching us go through and see all the different things that are happening right here, okay? Observe a lot of the detail, okay? And you may want to even come back and watch the beginning of this as Caitlin was outlining the pre-market, okay? There were very specific things that Caitlin was looking at, and those are the things that we put together as a pre-market routine, okay? And she does them very, very well. Now, sometimes we just like, oh, it's just like listening to the news. No, okay? There are very specific pieces of information that we look at in the pre-market to help us get this feel for what today is gonna do, okay? Oh, there we go. Look at that. Trend is high. Let's see. I'm gonna break this down to a 5-minute chart. Okay. Now keep in mind, when the trend gets this high, it is time to buy in a few minutes. Okay. Really high. That means it's really good. Okay. But it also means my bond trades that I've got going on, I got to be prepared and be ready to take some profits on that. Okay. Now, when the trend gets up to this extremes, the market is descending. What they're doing right now is putting the brakes on the market where they have more upticks and up volume than downticks and down volume. Oh, look, bounced right off of that. Okay. Now, we're still 6 minutes away. Okay. And Russell, NASDAQ, S&P have not reached that area. That still may drag the Dow down. Okay. We want all of them to arrive right about the same time in about 6 minutes. Then we're going to take this all the way back up, or we're going to have a small stop, and then we'll wait for the price charts to reset up. Okay. Thanks for pointing that out, Daniel. Excellent. Okay, so once it kind of peaks out, okay, you're going to look at the next 15 minutes and start to between 15 and 20 minutes to anticipate, okay, anticipate price intersecting with the areas that we're talking about. okay? Wow, did anybody grab that 33,425? Look at that. That's beautiful. And the reason I didn't take it, okay, was the S&P, NASDAQ, and the Russell still had not met their area. Okay, so it was good for a bounce, okay, but not necessarily good for a move back to the upside. And we had, oh, it's already underway. For you folks that are in the stock picks, okay, I may be filtering in some of these longer term futures products and maybe a couple of the FX products in that email just to test some things out, okay? We had a great little entry on corn, and corn is now moving to the upside. We've got the daily strong uptrend, okay? And yeah, nothing else really set up on that. So for those that are involved in the stock picks, you're going to get a couple little extra things. Nice call on the Dow. Okay, come on, Russell. Well, Trigger, I expect not just a bounce, okay? On inside days, when price gaps up or down inside that range, we often see the gap fill. Okay, our gap is up here. Price is still inside the prior day's trading range. Now, I don't want you to get comfortable and try to hold on. We're still looking for short-term profits because, we're getting to that, almost to that panic mode for some of the novice traders that are trying to hold on to that position and validate while they're still in the trade, okay? Now, I want a little confirmation on this as price starts to turn out of this, but I'm looking for the gap fill. So it's not just expecting a bounce because it's an inside day. It's reading in a little bit more, information about how we use that specific strategy, okay? On S&P, about 3 minutes. And here comes NASDAQ coming around the far outside. Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, getting ready to pop to the downside, giving us that entry on the NQ. Man, you've been amazing, Trigger. You've come a long way. How many months you been with us? And I know you took some, you took private training or the mentoring with Kate too, didn't you? Nice. Well, that was a good entry on the Dow. It's bouncing early, let it work. Hi, Maddie. How's things in the prop shop today? Everybody going crazy? All right, notice I'm not getting overly anxious like I've missed the trade. Look at the stocks over here. They have not resumed up or given us a big green candle to the upside yet to make me feel like I've missed anything. Okay, now the futures are volatile. Okay, but the stocks have not indicated that they're moving up, and we're about 45 seconds away from the bottom of the turn. Okay, don't be chasing this, just let it work. Yeah, Daniel, if you follow the rules, okay, on gold, we saw that we made a coming back out to that 20-minute chart. Okay. Yeah, I guess we did have that zone right there. So it's might be able to take it a second time. I just can't find that leg base. Yeah, we know the personality of gold may just overshoot and come back down into that area there before heading up to that 1861. And they're about ready to stop out all those people that tried to pick a bottom. Come on back down. Yeah, you have to watch out for that gold. I mean, not gold, but crude oil. You know, we can have a really nice setup. Okay, and the higher time frame over here is where I was assessing my trend. Okay, but we have outside influences that are with the Ukraine and US being involved and things like that. Okay, this could get a lot more volatile. Okay. Yeah, Sachin, if you're willing to take the risk on crude oil, okay, manage it carefully. Okay, but we're coming into quite a bit of volatility. Okay, any new breaking news event is going to cause that to react. Okay. All right, come on down, guys. All right, yeah, here, look at Apple, look at all the stocks over here. We got a pretty nice move, a bounce off of that, okay? But the stocks are not taking the NASDAQ up yet. There's still hope for the S&P coming back down too. Okay, stepping out, I'm gonna drop down to a 60-minute chart. Oh. Okay, so I have a couple of little areas over here that I'm watching on the Australian dollar. Okay, we got a supply zone, 0.72000, 72157. We also have the breakout trade in context of higher time frame trend. Okay. We have two places to participate in this. We just have to get price to one of those areas and take advantage of it. We're right in between the supply and demand area. And then we're looking for that opposing demand, 0.70178, 0.69932. And you can see the emotion of traders just sparking up everything. Anybody grab a little bit off of that bounce? Or you kind of sitting tight? Nice job. Got the Russell. Ed, we're still looking for the gap fill on all these equity indexes. This is not a time to chase it. Okay, it's time to wait for the proper setup. Nice job, Daniel. Yeah, it's tough. It's not, Dave. But see, that's what Caitlin and I bring to the table here in the live trading room is, we recognize these market conditions. And it takes a long time to gain this experience. Okay. And once you start to, you gain the experience, you start putting, I think, wow, Summer, you rocked it. Okay. Once you gain that experience, then it becomes your information and you can use it to your advantage. Okay. Right now, I mean, this was like a bear trap. Okay. But we haven't got to the panic yet where everybody just blows out. Okay. Now, we haven't hit any retracement areas that are very significant for chartists. We do have some leg base group of candles. Often with the leg base, we get a 1-to-1 move away from that zone. Okay. 87 out of 100 times, when price dips into that range, you'll get a 1-to-1. Okay. But using things outside the price chart, especially the stocks, and here we have the large market cap weighted stocks, okay, that impact the NASDAQ more than the smaller market cap weighted stocks. Okay. So as priced, you see in about 2 or 3 candles right here, basing, even if I drop down to a 3-minute chart, okay, notice how price broke below the support and then started basing sideways. Okay. See, this is what I'm expecting on the large time frame charts, is all of this whipsaw back and forth. These are little maps of what to expect going forward. Okay. So we have this area right here of where prices met supply several times. Okay. Are we in an uptrend or are we still in a downtrend? Yeah, we're still in a downtrend. Okay. So taking the trade at a breakout, yeah, we have this little pocket of points right here and potentially price moving back up to the higher day, and our gap fill, which is up here. Now we calmly waited for this trade to come in play. And as we're watching right now, I want to prepare that little pivot low right there as potentially my stop loss. Okay. A 2-minute chart may give you, or even a tick chart may even be better. Okay. We're 7 minutes away from the bottom of the hour at 6. Okay. But as we have a brand new fresh accumulation of orders, we have to see if that's going to work. Okay. Now this area was just a place I was intending to put my stop at this moment, if I choose to set the trade up for the breakout. This would be target 1, target 2, And then right up here, the gap fill, target 3. But I need help from the stocks over here. And we recognize we're still inside the tape. Look at this thing just rip. Yeah. We need the leg base group of candles to form before we take the breakout. Stock's not supporting that move up. All right, do you remember what we talked about? I mean, right over here. The trend was high. How many candles do we have? Takes 15, 20 minutes, okay? So it's just about that time for to move back up. Okay, which will still keep the Dow going up. And we don't have an opening on the Russell. Let's drop down. I'm not really satisfied. That's 3 touches on the Russell. I'm okay with the NQ with that. And let's just take a quick look at the S&P. I'm not quite satisfied that that's 3 touches with the S&P. Okay, so that leaves me with 1 product to trade. Being very rule-based, systematic. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to get up there fast enough. We got 148.5. Okay. 148.5 coming on. As we're wrapping up our session in the next few minutes, let's leave with a big old bang to the upside. And they're off. Okay, watch the stocks, monitor the stocks. As long as they stay green, this thing's going to work. Okay. I do need to come back in and get my protective stop loss in place. So, 75. I don't know, I'm getting my feel good. I mean, just a small move. There we go. Let's slide that up there. I like seeing big numbers. There's nothing in the way here. I mean, our first little area of resistance is right up here at 210. Watching the stocks. Stocks need to start throwing a green candle, start pushing up. Two minutes to the bottom of the hour. There we go. Rally, rally, rally. Are you getting these screenshots, Kate?
Yeah, you're doing great, Jeff.
Anything you'd like to add?
Just watching. At the end, I'll go over some announcements though.
All right. And we got a piece of that. Watch the time. We're right at the bottom of the hour. I'm about ready to click on my close button. I feel good. It's an inside day. Inside day, we should take profits a little more quickly. One more push right up there. Grand finale as we end our trading session. Oh my gosh, here it comes, here it comes. 30 seconds. Watch the 30-second, we'll get a little pullback. $15. Stock still moving. Five seconds. Wait for that one more push up. And boom, I'm out.
Order filled.
I only locked in $2,000 on that. All right, you guys all need to do the happy dance today. We had some really good trades, didn't we? Yeah, we had gold, we had gold, we had a Dow short. Man, that's beautiful, right? That's 70.7. Okay. On an inside day. Nice job. Everybody's covering that now. Imagine the knowledge you could also gain if you were in a pre-market with us and saw how we put everything together for a whole week. Be pretty good, huh? Hey, Natalie, you just keep taking those profits. Okay. Good job. Caitlin has a couple announcements she wants to share with us. I'm going to pass the screen back over to her. See you tomorrow morning. Important part of this is keeping your money today. Okay. Nice job, Stefan. Good job. We'd like to keep you for a year. All right, Kate, I'm gonna flip I'm stop sharing, give you the everything back over there.
Amazing job, Jeff. Look at those numbers in this session. And for an inside day, huge props to Jeff and to everyone for grabbing some of those trade setups. Not easy on an inside day. So just, amazing job to all of you. Even if you guys weren't in some of those trade setups, huge learning experience about the market conditions. So keep eyeing this, especially if you miss some of these trade setups. What Jeff and I are looking for is all those good entry points. You saw he was able to get in with the 3 touches down here. And then he also marked this area. So just keep in mind, even if you miss the initial moves, we can always be looking for more ways to get back into these trade setups. So NASDAQ was the one with a pretty good picture. You can see this area as price potentially keeps moving higher, looking at 14,320 for that other breakout area. We can see the 3 touches up here. Yeah, Jeff's timing is amazing. Great job, Jeff. You guys all did so well today. As he mentioned, we are having the Trading with the Smart Money course coming up. That's going to be next month. So if you guys want more detail on that, you can go to our website, theelitetrade.com. And then under products, if you scroll down, you're going to see a section for the 1-week VIP access Trading with the Smart Money. So that's where we're going behind the scenes and giving you guys a look at what we do to prep for the day, getting in more time to show you how we set up our buy and sell territories and exactly what we're looking for. So I know some of you guys in here have already taken the course and, got great feedback from you guys. So going to be bringing it back per your guys' request. So we can see right now this button here is grayed out, but once we actually get that scheduled in for next month, that should be accessible to sign up for. So we'll let you guys know on that. As far as other announcements, I think just keep letting us know if you guys have any issues with the website. Just starting website, there's some glitches and issues coming up. So please just let us know and we'll stay on top of that. Also, I think as someone mentioned, we are going to be doing in the near future the Thursday, Friday classes, but really want your guys' feedback and input as far as how we can make those better for you guys. So if there's certain products you want to look at, certain strategies, anything like that, please let us know, give us that feedback. If you want more fast-paced trading, or if you want a more relaxed trading, more just kind of conversational, let us know all that as far as how you want those structured so we can make those tailored to you for those Thursday, Friday sessions. Yeah, in the pipeline, as Jeff mentioned. So just keep an eye on that. We'll keep you guys posted, of course. Yeah, so great job, everyone. Jeff, kudos to you and to everyone inside day. Just absolutely amazing. And great to see that all come into play. So those of you interested in the smart money, we'll keep you posted with that.
Yeah, we're
Anything
just following the rules.
Yeah, follow the rules, understanding the market conditions. That's one thing, as Jeff mentioned, that's a good perk with this class is we show you exactly what we're looking for to stay, that we're following our rules. We know what to look for and we don't deviate from that, especially with market conditions like today.
All right, let's call it a wrap.
All right, have a good day, everyone. We'll be back on tomorrow, I believe, or I think, Jeff, you're going to be on tomorrow.
Yep.
I should be off, but great job, everyone. Enjoy the money. Don't overtrade, keep in your pockets and enjoy the rest of your day.
Don't forget the happy dance. Okay.
Happy dance. Absolutely.
All right. See everybody later. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Jeff.